Hey everybody, it's Bob Smith from Smith Taekwondo and Pro Sport Kickboxing coming to you with your child predator self-defense tip. This one is your child's name. I've done it too. We all mean well by putting our child's name tags, sending them to school, sending them out in public. Our kids wear it around when they go to the store afterwards, libraries, whatever, field trips especially. Unknowingly we put their names on everything. That makes it really easy for a predator to come up and look at a little kid and say, "Hey, is your name Jimmy? Are you Kalani? Yeah, your mom and dad told me to come and pick you up." And make it very easy for the child to fall for something like that. The older kids won't fall for that, but the younger ones certainly will. In their innocent mind, it's so-and-so is a friend of the family. This is one that you have to be really, really cognizant of and make sure that the kids understand that engaging in any sort of a conversation with a stranger who is an adult could be dangerous, and that children need to limit the conversation, not go out of their way to be overly friendly and just walk up and sit down because you're in the library and that adult over there is in the library. That doesn't automatically mean that you're friends. Doesn't automatically mean that you can walk up and sit down and start talking to him. Or if that adult comes over and approaches you, you need to limit the conversation and alert another adult somewhere, a responsible adult. Like in the library at school, it would be your librarian. Or if it would be on a field trip somewhere, it would be your teacher or whoever's in charge on the field trip. It's a pretty simple one, but it's also pretty dangerous. So you need to watch out for that and teach your kids to be alert, be aware, and also be aware of how you put their names on their school clothes, their uniforms, whatever. A lot of kids like to doodle on their notebooks, and they'll write nicknames and names all over it. Even that's very easy for somebody walking by to get a glance and strike up a conversation with the kid. "Hey, are you Keone?" Kid's like, "No, Keone's my best friend." "Oh, well, yeah, Keone and I were just talking about you. What was your name?" "Billy." "Yeah, Billy, that's it. Your name's Billy. Keone was telling me all about you." And very easy for little kids to fall into that trap and be suckered in by an adult unknowingly. So parents, talk to your kids about that. Make sure that they know to go tell a responsible adult. And most importantly, a lot of parents, a lot of kids, we think that a stranger who's going to do harm is somebody hiding off in the corner wearing a trench coat who hasn't bathed in 2 months. They're all dirty and greasy and look like the boogeyman. The predators are the people in your churches, the people in your schools, like Dr. Robert Brown, the psychiatrist at Kamehameha, who over 3 decades sexually assaulted children, the head of psychiatry. It could be family friends, it could be your neighbors, casual neighbors. Our kids, my daughter, everybody in our neighborhood was uncle and auntie, uncle and auntie. And there were some that I would tell my daughter, "Hey, that's not your uncle. You don't need to go over there and talk to him." Riding the bikes by their house when they're growing up, things like that. And her mom would tell her that too. She would emphasize to her, make sure that she understood that, hey, this is not your auntie, this is not your uncle, so you don't need to call him that. And here in Hawaii, that's kind of difficult because out of respect, everybody is auntie and uncle. But there are times and places that your children need to understand that if somebody looks a little sketchy, they might be. So teach your kids, and when you put their name tags on, tell them to take them off as soon as they're done with the field trip. If the teacher doesn't know your child's name, tell the teacher to work a little harder. Have your child put the name tag on at the last minute, and they can just take it on, stick it on their notebook wherever they're going, and when they're done, they just take it off. Other kids, calling them by their names out in public. There's nothing you can do about that. When the kids are laughing, playing, having a good time, they're constantly yelling at each other and calling each other by their names. So they just need to be cognizant of adults in the area. Any strange adults that they don't know, Why are they in that area? Teach your children that it's okay to walk up and ask the teacher and tell the teacher, hey, who is that woman over there by the swing set? Is she a teacher here? And just casually ask the teacher, oh yeah, she's a new substitute teacher. Okay, well, no, she's okay. Maybe the teacher didn't notice, and the teacher's like, yeah, who is that lady over there? And she'll walk up and investigate, and no harm, no foul. But this is Bob Smith, and parents, remember, prepare your child for the road ahead. Don't prepare the road for your child. This way you'll set them up for success. This is Bob Smith.